Personally, and this is where people take me out of context and say I don't think women should vote. I don't think women should vote.
Huh?
I don't think women should vote.
I
So,
love
like,
it.
the
Women
reason...
should not
No,
vote. Pearly
but
said it
I'll tell
herself.
you.
So YouTube has a bit of a problem. Well, it has a lot of problems. But the latest is related to these shorts that you've been seeing just fucking everywhere on this site. YouTube Shorts is Google's answers to TikTok and Instagram Reels. And the problem that a lot of people have been noticing is that no matter who you are, at some point while scrolling through these shorts, you're gonna run into the alpha male community. You're probably familiar with these guys by now. The channel we're gonna be looking at today is different though, because this time, instead of being run by a guy, it's actually run by a girl. Unbelievable, I know. Men finally listening to and respecting a woman for her views. Granted, that's only because her views fall exactly in line with their already toxic beliefs. But anyway, what you need to know about JustPearlyThings going into this is that she's the amalgamation of all of the MGTOW videos we've seen on this channel up to this point. She's got this grocery list of things that she needs to say in order to appeal to the red pill. She checks every box and it fucking works. Pearl is living proof that if you want to be successful on YouTube, all you have to do is talk down on non-traditional women, hype up alpha males, and throw out some ridiculous opinions on women, as well as hosting notorious figure Andrew Tate. That way you can rake in some of his followers so they mingle with some of your followers, and now you have this nice, big, sweaty family of borderline incels. It gets pretty fucking disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Let's just get into it.
But the majority of men are good men.
Ooh,
It's a
so why
very,
do you like
it's a
men
very,
then?
no, it's a very small percentage of men that are sleeping with all the women. Like, it's a very, like, if you want a guy that's over 6 foot, that's 15% of men. You want him to be cute, cut that in half. You want him to make money, cut that in half. It's a very small percentage of men that are sleeping with all the girls.
Okay, but how is this something you can quantify? I'm sure if you ask a guy, hey, are you a good guy? He's more than likely gonna say yeah, because, I mean, bad people don't just out themselves, you know? What if my response to her statement was, well, actually, the majority of women are kinder than men? My point being, these two statements aren't something that can be backed up with actual evidence. Therefore, it serves no purpose other than to just poison the well. It's there just as a broad statement with the hopes of making one group look better than the other. And we call that dishonesty.
Like, if you want a guy that's over 6 foot, that's 15% of men. You want him to be cute, cut that in half. You want him to make money, cut that in half.
And here we are with the first MGTOW talking point on the bingo card, men over 6 feet. So when did we decide that saying all women like a tall guy is just fact? Actually, here's a better question. When did we decide it was wrong for women to want tall men? Pearl, you're agreeing with men who don't want women to have preferences of their own. Did it ever occur to you that maybe these aren't the people you should be surrounding yourself with as a woman?
Like, every girl has a guy in their friend zone that would treat them well, and they know would treat them well, and they know likes them. And it's like, we don't pick them. And then we're gonna cry because the guy we picked is bad to us, but you could have picked the guy in the friend zone.
Hold on, let me just smash my hand through a window real quick. Okay, yeah, I think that calmed you down a little bit. Pearl is speedrunning getting lonely men to like her in this short. She's brought up women wanting tall guys, wanting cute guys, wanting rich guys, and now she's bringing up the friend zone.
Not many girls come in here because I get friend zoned so frequently.
I'd like to be in the friend zone. I'd like friends.
It's not as pleasant as you'd think.
Now, whenever we go through these MGTOW channels, we usually run into this term, the friend zone, and whenever I do, I remind you guys of this valuable piece of information. Are you ready? Okay, so the friend zone isn't real. It's not real. Like, if this is a term you find yourself using a lot, I think you need to start accepting that the person you're thinking about just doesn't like you, rather than using the same tired excuse that neckbeards have been using for years now. Since, hey, guess what? Everyone in a relationship started out as just friends. Whoa. And then we have this line.
And they know would treat them well, and they know likes them. And it's like, we don't pick them. And then we're gonna cry because the guy we picked is bad to us, but you could have picked the guy in the friend zone.
Go up to any person that's been in a serious, committed, long-term relationship, and they'll tell you that when it comes to loving someone, it isn't about picking them. It's a feeling that you can't control. It's a feeling that you just can't force either. And shaming people for not forcing themselves into something because it's the better option is so fucking dense that I wonder how someone who thinks like that manages to tie their shoes every morning. Look, there's always gonna be someone hotter than you, someone smarter than you, someone richer than you, always. But shockingly, there are people out there who just don't give a shit. That's why I'm telling you, it's not a game of picking and choosing. It's just a feeling. You have it or you don't. Now, I hope that was a neat little appetizer for what kind of content Pearl makes. Unfortunately, there's way more than what I could cover in a single video that isn't 10 hours long, so let's just comb our way through some of these Pearly Things shorts. These next few shorts are on women and dating, so if you came here for that big MGTOW red-pilled energy, this is the section you're looking for.
Did you know that women leave men 80% of the time? And if they're college educated, it's 90. So if you get divorced, it's 80% of the time like the woman leaves. And one of the number one predictors of divorce is actually if the woman out earns the man.
Oh, I love that. I actually love that. I can't lie. I actually
You love that? You don't think that's kind of
No, I'm like, girl, you go get that. You go get a man, and like, yeah, you go get that. Like,
really?
yeah.
Like, why is there like a lack of empathy for men?
Well, why is there a lack of empathy for women? I don't understand how college-educated women divorcing men is shitty, especially when you consider the numerous reasons why one might divorce someone in the first place. I think Pearl heard what this girl had to say and took it as a personal attack, since Pearl is like the defender of all middle-aged divorced men in the manosphere, apparently. But I think this girl was just excited to hear that we're beyond the point of women being trapped in these unhappy marriages for their entire lives. Looking back at the 1920s, the idea of a woman going to college, buying her own house, and providing herself was just unheard of, right? It never fucking happened. But now it's becoming so common that, as Pearl said, 90% of college-educated women are leaving their failing marriages. And that's the other thing that Pearl neglects to mention. No marriage that ends in divorce was a happy marriage. It wasn't a good marriage. Things weren't all right, clearly. That was a relationship that's been dragging on for years, and somebody finally put their foot down. But much like anything that comes out of a MGTOW's mouth, these statistics are just being thrown out to make women look as shitty as possible.
It's not a lack of empathy.
But there is, because like they're breaking up a family and a lifelong commitment and a home, and your reaction is you go get the bag, sis, or like, I'm so happy for you. When that's actually a really, like, that's a sad situation. Like, your wife is leaving you.
This is why I call these videos a problem. Not only are they annoying as fuck, because oh my god, they're so fucking annoying, but they're also incredibly dishonest. These shorts are like an animal shelter commercial, but for lonely middle-aged men, right? It's always some sad music playing while someone talks about something that makes women seem like these manipulative gold diggers. So some random teenager who just saw his crush kissing some cute boy will feel better about suddenly being a misogynist. Like, it just explains all his problems away. Now, I call this video dishonest because while the stats Pearl brings up are true, it's framed in a way that makes college-educated women sound heartless, pinning all the blame on these girls by saying that they're breaking up families and a lifelong commitment, leaving the poor, sad husband all alone. But if you turn your brain on and use your critical thinking skills, you'll start to ask yourself, well, why is that happening? Why are women divorcing men so much? This is something that Pearl just refuses to bring up in any of her videos on divorce or just relationships in general. I found this cute little list of major reasons for divorce. Now, these stats are based on individuals who participated in this specific survey, and if you want to read the article for yourself, go right ahead, I'll link it in the description. But I'm not here for the stats themselves, I'm just sort of here for the reasons on the side. So reasons for divorce, we've got lack of commitment, extramarital affairs, conflict, getting married too young, all of these things here that Pearl can never acknowledge, because if she does, it'll get her audience to realize that women aren't the root of divorce. They're just the first person in the relationship to admit that something just isn't working. Big surprise, the world isn't black and white, I know. Real shocker for these types of people.
Women divorce men 70 to 80% of the time. I would argue in relationships it's probably similar. Men aren't leaving, women are. So to a guy's point of view, he's going to commit to this girl, and what does he get? He doesn't get purity anymore, you know, these hoes. You know, he doesn't get youth anymore, so he doesn't get either of those things. A lot of times she already has a kid, so he's not fulfilling his mating strategy.
And this is why a lot of people who speak out against JustPearlyThings call her a pick-me. What this means is that it seems that she's saying these things that she knows will win her favor with certain types of people because she wants these people to, well, pick her. Referring to girls who regularly have sex as hoes when you yourself are also a girl who has sex doesn't make you this wise, well-rounded relationship guru. It just kind of comes off as desperate and really annoying. What makes it all the more embarrassing though is that she's trying to appeal to these guys who are part of a community who are notorious for having little to no respect for women. But like this purity thing she's talking about is something we've heard from red pilled channels plenty of times before. For anyone who isn't aware, a lot of men in the red pilled community think less of women based on how many sexual partners they've had in the past, essentially preferring women who just have no sexual experience whatsoever. Isn't it strange to have a community of men obsessed with meeting young, submissive virgins rather than a bold, educated breadwinner? I'm gonna go ahead and break character here for a second and say that, yeah, that makes you a huge pussy. Like, imagine as a man feeling threatened by a woman who makes more money than you and who also isn't afraid to leave you when you start acting like an asshole. That's real beta male energy, I'm not gonna lie.
On top of that, even if he does find a good woman that maybe has the qualities he's looking for, she was going to want him to marry her. And what does he get out of that? Oh, she can leave and take half and take my kid. And she's paid to take my kids away from me. She gets more money if she takes my children. And so from the men's point of view, they're just kind of like, F it, because like women aren't wives nowadays. And what do they get out of it?
But
like,
you know,
men are logical. They're logical people. And so they're thinking, does the benefit outweigh the cost? And like, I just think as women, we have to look at ourselves and say,
the benefits we bring nowadays don't outweigh the cost for most men.
Pearl, you really gotta stop talking for all women, because from what I can see, the vast majority of women who've seen your videos think you're completely full of shit. And I don't blame them. Like, a lot of Pearl's content is just about how she thinks women are shitty. Her format is no different from someone like Taylor the Fiend or 33 Examples, or really any MGTOW channel out there. So those were just a few of the YouTube shorts where Pearl talks about how awesome men are when it comes to relationships. This video is stretching out a bit longer than I originally wanted it to, but fuck it. If you loved listening to all our other red-pilled Randys talk about wanting cute, petite, traditional women, then maybe you'll like hearing Pearl talk about the same thing. So here we have traditional women are rare.
None of us in here can be considered traditional women. And back then, an average guy could get a traditional woman. And now what does he get? He gets a boss bitch, a boss babe, a girl that's been ran through. He gets an ex-hoe. He gets a born-again virgin. Like,
I said this a bit earlier, but I say it every time we talk about these guys, so I'll just say it again. Being intimidated by a boss bitch makes you a pussy. Not liking that a girl is really cocky about the money she's making makes you a pussy. Because usually, when you have something good going for you, you do the exact same thing. So it shouldn't be any different when a girl does it. The problem with wanting this traditional woman that MGTOW guys always talk about is that these were the women that were born out of an era where girls didn't really have as much freedom as they do today. And I think wanting a woman from back then is no better than wanting things to just go back to how they were back then. Yeah, I think it's a huge red flag for someone to want traditional stay-at-home housewives whose only purpose in life is to cook, clean, and pump out babies. It's even more embarrassing to hear this coming out of Pearl's mouth because, like, why would you admit to wanting to be a pushover? Why would you be so open about wanting someone else to do all the providing for you while you just cook and clean?
You know, you really don't cook enough roast, Leela. Whoa. Women.
And that's the thing that really confuses me about these people, their rules and their preferences, right? So what we've gathered from MGTOW in previous videos, if a girl makes more money than you, that's bad. If a girl doesn't make more money than you, but wants you to provide for her, she's a gold digger, and that's bad. Yet here we have Pearl and all these other man babies saying they want a traditional woman. So how about we just stop with the semantics, right? These people are looking for a reason to shit all over women. They're looking for a valid excuse as to why they should be entitled to control how women live their lives. And Pearl is coming into this community of men saying, look, I'm a woman and I'm agreeing with you, so obviously these guys have a point, when in reality all of them are fucking crazy. I really wish the MGTOW community would just grow some balls and admit to it, because listening to all these excuses somehow manages to be more annoying than listening to incels, which is saying a lot if you think about it.
what do this I get? As women, this is what do we get? We still get protection and provisioning.
Are you sure?
And the average salary could cover an apartment. But the thing is, like, women, we want this lifestyle that's not even realistic nowadays. Like, we want men that make more than we do, and we want them to pay all of the bills. But it's like, we all have our nails done. We get our hair dyed. We have makeup. We have all of this stuff that costs money because we want this lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show, and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship, but you would have to go down in lifestyle? And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.
Ah, indeed, a very fine argument, Pearl. Bitches do be shopping, that's for damn sure. Congratulations, MGTOW. We've reached the point where the argument being made is that wanting a better life is somehow restricted to women. Now, here's how we know that statement is bullshit. Look at all these men buying expensive shoes, nice cars, hair care products, and huge mansions. Shit, it's almost like they want more than just living paycheck to paycheck in a studio apartment. No, this isn't me condemning men for wanting a luxurious lifestyle. This is me proving that Pearl's going out of her way to make women seem greedy. Ask anybody living in a cardboard box on the side of the road. Doesn't matter what race or gender they are, they're gonna want a big fucking house and a nice car. We get all these MGTOWs foaming at the mouth when girls say they don't want to date dudes with no money, but shockingly, men don't want to date a girl who's never worked a day in their lives either.
This lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show, and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship, but you would have to go down in lifestyle? And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.
Okay, restricting your own data on women to women who've only ever been on your show is a terrible source. All that tells me is that you're only interviewing girls who you know are gonna give you the answers that you want to hear. How about you grow some fucking balls and interview girls who disagree with you more often? Oh, right, because again, if you interview someone who's capable of arguing with you, then you might expose your audience to a valid response. Also, lastly, protection. You get protection out of marriage? Excuse me? Then why do 20% of marriages experience violence or domestic abuse? Unless that percentage is 0 across the board, then you can't tell me that women get protection in exchange for marrying a nice guy, because apparently, no, they fucking don't. Like she said before, college-educated women initiate divorce way more often now. So how does that not show you that girls are more capable of protecting themselves now? These arguments of women just marry men for resources just doesn't fucking work when you realize that there are plenty of women who are more than capable of providing for themselves. But when they do, they get called cat ladies or women who hit the wall.
The point is to make you feel good about being an
aging, deeply unlikable woman who never had kids.
They've been lied to by their society forever, that you could be a girl boss and you can do anything a man can do, which everyone who's ever seen a woman back up a vehicle knows that's not true.
This lady is miserable. I mean, she is miserable, and it's written all over her face how miserable she is.
Even when you live your life exactly according to the MGTOW rulebook, they'll still find ways to shit on you for being a woman, because guess what? That's just what it is. You're a woman, so they're gonna shit on you. Actually, is it fair to call Pearl a MGTOW? Can women also be part of the MGTOW community? I'm actually not sure. Let me know how you feel about that one, but for now, we're gonna go ahead and call it a day and end the video here. Thanks for watching another video where I take you through this freak show of misogynists and red-pilled Randys. We haven't done one of these in a while, so it's a nice refresher, and it's a well-deserved break from political channels like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro. I know I said previously that we'd be looking at Taylor the Fiend, but I saw some of Pearl's videos and I thought, nah, same thing. If you have a specific video you want me to check out though, do not be afraid to tell me about them in the comments as I read all of them. I know Pearl was a recommendation made a while ago, but hey, finally did it. Next time we'll be looking at Candace Owens of the Daily Wire. I also have a somewhat casual video on Ben Shapiro planned, so be sure to subscribe and check back for when those videos come out. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.